I want to do a quick video talking about Monsters and Memories, which is a new, I want to say indie MMO that's coming out for early access January of next year. So it's in a couple months pretty much. They're going to go into EA. They'll have multiple servers that spin up through it. But right now on the current like 12-day test or whatever it is, they have a PvP server and 2 PvE servers. Now, if you know what EverQuest is, you'll know what type of game this is. If you don't know what EverQuest is, then this game will probably be a little weird looking for a newer game. They're going to be like, this game looks like it's from 2000. That's because it's based on a game from 2000. It's one of the developers was one of the original devs on EQ. I don't know personally who it is or anything like that, but you know, a lot of the devs were involved in EverQuest or played EverQuest a lot. So it's kind of a passion project. A lot of the devs, I believe, aren't working for money. Like I think a lot of them are volunteering because they just like the project. But that being said, we've tried it for a few tests now. We're playing on the PvP server because we're masochists in my community. I don't recommend the PvP server. I don't recommend the PvP server because the current rule is just like an FFA rule set. An FFA rule set basically means, you know, you go outside of town, if someone's within 4 levels of you, you can get attacked. When you get attacked on the PvP server, they can pretty much take one of your pieces of gear, your money on you, or a stack of items in your inventory. So pretty punishing. But this is like the starter town Night Harbor. And the cool thing about, in regards to the PvP server, while I don't recommend the PvP server, I do recommend you try the game because it's just an old school MMO that's crafted with like a lot of care. And whether you play PvE, PvP, whatever server you end up playing when it does launch, you're going to notice that when you go out into the world. The world is, it looks like an old school game and it feels like an old school game. And if you've been playing MMOs as long as I have, the old school feel comes from the fact that someone spent a lot of time, or a lot of people spent a lot of time on different parts of the game that don't just jump out at you immediately. So if you've never played EverQuest, the way that you figure things out in the game is like, okay, this is an NPC, right? You have to go up to this NPC here, and I'll turn my cam off real quick so you can see this, right? You have like an interaction window with him. Shifty gnome. He's a vendor that buys things, right? But if you say hail to him, right, he'll meet you with text. He has work for me, so I would type work. He says, so you're willing to help me with something, right? So he gives me a cloth bag. This is just a starter quest. So basically he gave me storage, right? So I can hold items in it. And that's kind of like how all the quests are in the game. There isn't going to be a single NPC that's going to have an exclamation point on them. Nothing's going to be telling you exactly where to go. When you start the game, you get a note, and this note is your first quest line for your class. And that could be something really easy or really difficult, and it'll quest chain, so on and so forth. But that's the game. You're just going to get dumped into this game, middle of a town, no idea what you're doing, level 1. You're not going to be able to kill very much. You have to progress through the game. The game is very grindy. So a lot of times you're going to be, you know, looking for people to group up with. And this is the combat, right? You know, like if you're meleeing, you're kind of standing still. Dungeons and Dragons, trading misses versus hits, right? It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, so I just want to get that out there first and foremost. This is a level 2 character, so there's not a lot in my kit. I'm a bard. I have a couple songs I can play, right? You start off very weak, not a lot going on. But one of the best things about the game is the progression. So although you start very weak and it's grindy and slow, as you learn the game, you learn where things are. You learn how to progress through the game. You get buffs from other people that help you out. You talk to people that you group up with. The progression is some of the best progression I've felt in a video game, full stop. When you're going to hit certain level breakpoints depending on the class you're in, and you're going to get a new ability that increases your power level, or, you know, a buff is going to get so strong that it becomes very helpful, or, you know, there's going to be a bunch of different breakpoints. Maybe you get a drop from a dungeon. And also if you're from WoW, this type of gearing system in the game will be familiar. It's like You find a placeholder for a special mob. You have to keep killing the placeholder until the named mob spawns, and then the named mob has a chance to drop a few different things depending on, you know, what you're looking for. And that's how you're going to get most of the gear in the game. So you're often going to, you know, go out in a dungeon. You'll be grinding it with your friends for hours. You're going to get to a boss maybe you can't kill or you can kill, depending on what's going on. And he's going to have a loot table, and then you'll be like, oh, you'll get a drop. And you're like, oh, God, this helped my build so much, right? Like a lot of... Oh, I logged off in a bad spot. This is my level 20 enchanter, which is the furthest I've gotten on a character. But you will find a lot of cool progression breakpoints in the game. Like I said, either gear, your class, figuring something out. And I'm sure you saw in the other character, the Bard, I only had a couple of abilities. Let me just get out of here so I don't get jumped. On my enchanter, I have probably what we would call too many abilities. But I'll show you my spell book on this character to give you an idea. And also another big important thing in this game is that the races are huge and different. You have ogres, gnomes, dwarves, halflings. There'll be lizard people or troll people that have HP regen. They're going to have very minor changes within the classes. It's mostly cosmetic, but they will have different stats they start with, stuff like that. But this is the spell book on my enchanter. And these are all different spells that I have for different situations. A lot of them are buffs that I apply to myself or other people. I have the ability to charm mobs, which is why the enchanter is such a cool class. I just want to give you... I'm not going to talk about all the classes. I just want to give you an example of some of the stuff I've learned, so you can see like the type of things that are possible within the game and what it's like really cool to figure out the game and what makes it special. So we're just going to teleport back here. I'm good, IGT. That's IGT. He just sits around the bank buffing people for money. So if you ever need a buff, look for El Buffo. But yeah, what we can do is we can run over here, and as you learn the map, you're going to learn different things that are going to help you out, or spots, if you're on a PvP server, spots that people would be at that maybe you want to jump them. We'll run over here into the next zone. And I guess it was the same way in EverQuest, but in Monsters and Memories, mobs don't have a leash range. So if you pull a pack that's too difficult, the only answer is to either slowly die, handle that pack of mobs, or go through a loading screen. Because they will follow you forever. Some of them, the guards will hit off of you. Sometimes the guards don't care about it, but you're going to have to learn where the server lines are so you can load away from things like that. But if I go over here, there's these mobs that spawn called Dune's Madmen, right? And since I'm an enchanter and I can control them, what we can do is we can get control of the Dune's Madman, which is like a druid, and he'll just give me all of his buffs. Like all these buffs that I have are from like an actual player, but I can actually just control a mob to give me those buffs, which is like, that's one of the unique things about this game and just the types of things you can do. People, it's not, you've never played EverQuest, a lot of the stuff is going to be foreign to you, but I never really played EverQuest either. So I've just been figuring it out over the few play tests. And just a lot of the things you find in the game are really, really cool. Like I touched on, the progression is insane in this game. But not only is the progression really good, the reason I like the progression so much in this game is that the map is built out insanely well. The map is built out insanely well. And what I mean by that is you could be farming in a dungeon and it could take you like a week to fully explore everything in that dungeon. So if we come over here, we'll remove this buff. Remove this buff. I think he gives that one. Okay. And here's the Dune's Madman. We'll just charm it real quick.
Oh my God, he on X game mode.
So now he's my pet, as you can see. And these are all of his abilities, right? And basically he just has an AI where he's going to be like, oh, you don't have this buff? I'm going to give you this buff. You don't have that buff? Okay, I'll give you that buff. Right? So he'll give me like 5 buffs. And yeah, there's just a lot of really interesting, intricate, sandboxy, old school RPG interactions that you're going to find in this type of game. If you played like SWG, Star Wars Galaxies, Ultima Online, EverQuest, Dark Age of Camelot, a lot of different systems from those games are you're going to find them in Monsters and Memories. So I just wanted to touch on the game and kind of get it any exposure I could, because there's just not a lot of marketing for it, and let you guys know it's coming out early access early next year. And they're going to have multiple servers, multiple rule sets on servers. They'll probably spin up new servers. So if you don't get in right at early access, you'll be okay. But I do recommend, a lot of people are going to be grinding it very hard. It'll probably have a pretty big launch, probably bigger than Pantheon, I would say, just because if you're an EQ fan, you find this one to be more true to the original. But that doesn't mean it's better. It's just a preference thing. So in any case, myself and my community have been playing it quite a bit. We all really like it. Those of us that have been playing it, we're all kind of like holding out for early access because we don't want to jam it too much. But I highly recommend it to you. It's got a small studio, indie studio. We love supporting studios like this. It's gonna have no box price, and it will have a monthly sub. I don't know. Did they talk about what the monthly sub is, guys? I don't know what the monthly sub is, so otherwise I would tell you. It's probably like $15 would be my guess. It would probably be like $15. I'm not sure what it is. It's probably nothing crazy. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about it. Thank you guys for checking out the YouTube video. We'll be doing more 15. Okay, 15. We'll be doing more videos on this game and other games coming up. So make sure to check us back, and thank you so much for watching. Peace. Cut.